Hi, how you doing? So in this tutorial I'm going to show you how to recreate white silver tone in Lightroom. So this is a beautiful technique that you can create in literally under 5 minutes. It's a really simple and easy method. Now this was an old traditional darkroom technique, and it gives you a really nostalgic look to your images, and it's beautiful and it's very unique. So when you're selecting an image for this, my advice would be to have something that has a fair amount of black within the image, because it's the black areas in which we matte and we make just a little bit darker than what they would normally be. But you can see we have this sort of matte effect. It's a greyish tinge to it. And you can see the white areas have this kind of silver vibe to them going on. So I'm going to reset this and bring you back to the beginning and walk you through the process. So the first thing I'm going to do is just add a little bit of contrast, not too much, so about plus 12 is okay for this. I'm going to bring the highlights down. I'm going to bring these down to around minus 35, 36 on this particular image. Now you can see when I do that, if I start going lower, then it starts to really darken them highlights. We don't want that. We still need some highlights in there, but we don't want them too overpowering. I was going to bring the shadows up, so bring that up to about plus 12, just to bring back some more detail in them areas that we've just darkened. And the whites I'm going to pull down, and the blacks I'm going to pull down. So the whites I'm going to pull them down to about minus 26, and the blacks not so much, to around minus 15 usually works. So minus 14 on this looks good. 15 is, yeah, so around that mark there. That's pretty good. The next thing we're going to do is something that I normally don't do on a black and white image, and that's increasing the texture, the clarity and the dehaze. The reason why we usually avoid that is because it can really mess with people's skin. Okay, so let's just push this up, texture to plus 30, and then the clarity I want to push that a little bit higher to around 60, and then the dehaze to around 38, 39, 40, around that area. Okay, so there you can see what that's just done to the skin. So the reason why I haven't turned this to black and white yet is because I wanted you to see that effect. You can see that that's not very appealing on the skin tones. You can see it's actually brought out a lot of detail in them, and that texture and clarity is kind of started to pull the image apart a little bit. But that's okay when it's a black and white. When it's color, that's what you get, and that's not a flattering look. So try and avoid that when you can. So let's just come up to the top here where it says the treatment color, black and white. Just click on black and white and you'll see, there we go, it starts to look a little bit more acceptable. So let's move to the tone curve. Now this is where the magic happens and where all the work really is carried out. This gives you the opportunity to really take control of the whole image. So the first thing I'm going to do is just click in the middle. I want a center point, and then I want another point here, and I want another point up here. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to click on the very bottom, and I'm going to pull these up. So these are pulling the blacks up, and I want it about, I would say about there. So it's just before that. If you look at the first box, it's just before the first line. And then this point, I'm just going to just pull that down a little bit, just so it's a little bit of a nicer curve going up. And then what we want is to bring this top point that we made a minute ago, just bring that up. And then we're also going to bring the whites down. So we're going to pull that down. And you can see you get this really funny S shape. You can see there, it sort of goes down and across. So this is a very matte style. That's what we're doing. So whenever you bring the top or the bottom up or down, you are matting off the blacks and the whites, and that's what gives you that lovely effect. So that's how you recreate that silver tone. Then I'm just going to jump to the black and white mix, and the good thing with this is that we can adjust the actual colors within the image to give us a really nice finish. So I'm just going to drop them reds down. I'm going to drop the oranges down as well to about minus 13. And I'm going to drop the yellows down a little bit more. That's 25. I'm going to drop the greens down as well to around the same area. 22 is good. It's going to bring the aqua down as well to around -20. 19 on this particular image works. It's going to bring the blues up a little bit. I'm going to bring the purple and the magenta up to around +10. And depending on your image, you can play around with that a little bit more, but that works on this. If you look at the image in general, what we've done is just brought up them skin tones and just brightened them up a little bit, and that's what gives us that added extra silver tone to it. And then last but not least is just adding a little bit of a vignette can help sometimes. Now this is a dark image, but this will help a little bit, so let's just bring that down to about -10 around there. Midpoint, bring that up to 60, and then that is good to go. So whenever you've got an image that's a little bit lighter, this will really help. In this image here, there's not much going on, just a little bit down here where the dress is, just blends it a little bit better, you can see there. But that is a really good setting to have for images that don't have a lot of black in the background. So that is it. That is all you need to do. It's as simple as that. Now if we look at this as a before and after, you can see we've got that beautiful silver tone effect. Now obviously, yes, you can carry on and go in and do a little bit more treatment. So let's just add a radial to the face and possibly just soften that. So bringing that down, take the overlay off and just bringing out the shadows a little bit in the face there, just to make the face pop a little bit. There we go. So if we look at that now as a finished article, that is how you do it. So them little final steps, usually need to do that like I've just done on the face, just brighten the face, because the way that we edit this, it usually makes the face a little bit darker. So doing that is usually a good step. So that is it's as simple as that. It really is. The other step that you can take is using the brush tool and basically doing a little bit of dodge and burn. So you can come to the effect here and we can have dodge. So it's mainly the dodge we want to be doing, and then you can just select the areas that you want to treat. So let's just push the density up a little bit more. That's it. I'm going to bring that overlay back up so you can see what I'm doing. So it's mainly the white areas, because we're trying to do that silver tone effect. It's just the white areas we want to pick out a little bit. Maybe that ring down there as well. So let's take that overlay off, and then let's just boost that exposure maybe up a little bit more. So around there. There we go. And that's it. It's as simple as that. So if we just look at the before and after, just from doing that extra treatment, you can see that does help and just makes it pop a little bit more. There we go. So it's as easy as that. So I hope you enjoyed that. It's a really nice preset. So see how you get on with your images, post them up in the group, and I'll see you on the next video. Take care. Bye bye.